Hello, it's Alex and welcome to Hey Little Thrifter. Today I'm going to share with you a bunch of books I took out from the library. I went to reserve a copy of one particular book and basically got a bit carried away and reserved several. Why not? So this is the collection of books that I got. They are either horror or some other kind of dark subject matter. So yeah, first up is the book that I originally went to put a hold on, and that is Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. This is a horror / dark fantasy, originally published I believe in the 1960s. This is about two 13-year-old boys who are best friends, and a carnival comes to town and it's pretty creepy and weird, and I think it follows them, you know, their friendship and their coming of age set amongst this creepy carnival. So it sounds amazing and I've heard really wonderful things about this. I have never read any Ray Bradbury before, so I'm really excited to check this one out. And this one is this month's pick for my Pittsburgh Horror Book Club, so if you live in Pittsburgh and you would like to join us, then I'll leave a link to our group down below. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Next up we have Such Small Hands by Andreas Barber, and this is translated by Lisa Dillman, and this is a novella. This is about a 7-year-old girl called Marina. Her parents die and she is sent to live in an orphanage, and she has a doll that is her friend, and I believe it follows her obviously dealing with the loss of her parents, being introduced to this new home and all the other people that live there, and it's also the relationships between her and the other orphans and whether they accept or reject her. It sounds pretty dark and intriguing, so yeah, looking forward to this one. Next up is The Beauty by Aaliyah Whiteley. This one was one I totally stumbled upon while browsing online, and initially the cover jumped out to me and looked really intriguing, and I read the premise. It sounded really interesting. It is about a future where all of the women have died and only men are left, and they tell stories around the fire at night about their history and what happened, how they came to be at the situation they are in. In addition to that, there are some strange mushrooms growing near where all of the women are buried, so not really sure what to expect with this one, but it sounds really interesting. Next up is The Outcast Spirit and Other Stories by Lady Dilke, and this was published in the late 1800s, and it's a collection of weird fiction, I believe. And this was another one I kind of stumbled upon. I read The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers last month and really enjoyed that. That's a collection of weird fiction, kind of creepy horror-esque stories, and I think I maybe found this through that, and it sounded really intriguing. The titles of the stories are things like The Shrine of Death, The Black Veil, The Hangman's Daughter, so they all sound wonderfully creepy and I can't wait to check this one out. Next up is The Hole by Hai Young Pyun and translated by Sora Kim Russell. This is a Korean novel. It is a psychological thriller about a husband and wife who are in a car accident. The wife dies and the husband is now in hospital, and it follows him dealing with the accident, dealing with the loss of his wife, and also his relationship now with his mother-in-law, who has obviously just lost her daughter. So it follows these characters dealing with their grief and loss. It sounds super intriguing. The title and the cover initially kind of drew me to it. I'm really excited for it, about as excited as you can be for something that's probably going to be fairly depressing. And it's been compared to Herman Koch's The Dinner, Stephen King's Misery, and the work of Shirley Jackson. So yeah, sounds brilliant. Next up is The House of Small Shadows by Adam Neville. And I haven't read any Adam Neville before, but he wrote The Ritual, which was recently adapted into a Netflix film, which I saw, and it was fantastic. Really great horror film, 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. It is about a group of British friends, so I was loving that. And they go on a hiking holiday to Sweden, and while they're in the woods, creepy things start happening. There are some really great folklore elements to it, and yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. And I knew that it was based on a novel of his, and I would like to read The Ritual sometime, but I figured for my first Adam Neville book I wanted to read something that was completely new to me, so I chose The House of Small Shadows. This is about a lady who works in the antiques world in London, and something happens, she gets fired. She has to leave and kind of go sort her life out, and sometime later she gets a job working for someone who is like a world-renowned taxidermist. So she undertakes this project to catalogue all of his taxidermy and his collection of antique dolls. So that already sounds wonderfully creepy, and I believe she ends up going to live in his house amongst all of these oddities. There might be a supernatural element going on here, but I'm not entirely sure. I just am looking forward to it either way. And last up we have Black Hole by Charles Burns. This is a graphic novel. It's set in Seattle in the 1970s and follows a group of teenagers. There is some strange disease that is being passed around through sexual contact, and things get weird and creepy and dark. So yeah, generally the theme for all of these books, which I'm super excited about. I hear really great things about this, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. So that was everything. I don't normally take this many books out of the library at one time, but I kind of got a bit carried away. I'm really looking forward to reading all of them, and I'm hoping that having them from the library will motivate me to get through them quickly, so I can then return them and other people can enjoy them too. Let me know if you've read any of these. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!